This is in response to the learning strategies discussion post. Some strategies that were effective when I was young as a learner were the mnemonic strategies, and I used these frequently, just like the text mentioned on page 42, like 4GB to remember the colors of the rainbow. I used a mnemonic to remember the order of operations for long division, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? I used the mnemonic to remember the notes for sheet music and music class, and these must have been very effective because they are just embedded in my long-term memory, so that speaks to how often I used them as a young learner. In terms of strategies that I've discarded because they weren't working well, I can't think of any that I discarded after trying, but I know strategies that I've adopted after not using them for a long time were those metacognitive strategies discussed on page 42 in the text. Things like creating a plan for work, an outline, writing things down in a planner, reviewing work, things like that. I seldom did when I was young, and that was really detrimental. So in my adult life, I often think about my own learning and utilize those metacognitive strategies to do that. In my experience as an educator, I use metacognitive strategies for my students to plan their work and focus on like their strengths. I also use a lot of mnemonic learning strategies. One that I used in the behavior room when I taught 3rd to 5th grade was the cubes strategy for math. That's to solve word problems. So the C stands for circle the numbers, U is underline the question, B box keywords, so like any words that tell you what operation you need. The E is eliminate unnecessary language or information, and the S is to solve. When I taught pre-K, a strategy that I used a lot was the scaffold to add embedded context to cognitively demanding tasks. So once again, in math, we use like manipulatives and 10 frames, and those scaffolds were really effective in solving simple math, which obviously to a 4-year-old is cognitively demanding, even if it's like 2 + 2. In response to the second video, I really enjoyed seeing how the educator contextualized language. You can tell she had been focusing with her kids on like using adjectives, and when she was writing down the students' sentence, she was writing the adjectives in a different color and the nouns in a different color. But you could tell that in terms of content, they were covering rainforest. The student mentioned monkeys and the canopy, and you could see some rainforest materials like a big tree in the classroom. And they were using that content area learning to also embed language, which I think is a fantastic strategy. And that's it. Thank you.